Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill Live this Sunday morning. The economy. We've been talking about it endlessly here with you, and it is the #1 issue that voters say they care about. New numbers out this week show the gross domestic product, or GDP, is up after falling for 2 straight quarters, but inflation, you don't need us to tell you this, it remains stubbornly high. The Fed is meeting this week and is expected to add another round of interest rate hikes. For more on the economy, we want to welcome back in Jon Hilsenrath. He has been writing about economics for the Wall Street Journal for 25 years now, and he is out with this brand new book on Janet Yellen. It is titled, appropriately enough, Yellen. Jon, though, we want to start with the state of the economy, and that is going to bring us into our discussion of your new book here. Obviously, the administration is trying to accentuate the positive of our economy. They point to things, but people also point at the receipts that they're bringing home. What's the reality of it? Does it matter, all this economic stuff that the White House is talking about, if people are still not able to kind of make ends meet?
No, I mean, I think the economy is in a really tough spot right now. The way I describe it is 3 shocks have hit the economy in the last couple of years. The first one was COVID, killed millions of people around the world, shut down businesses around the world. The second was the government's response to COVID. The Fed cut interest rates to 0. We had stimulus checks, business relief checks. The third shock we're feeling right now, and that's the government pulling back all of this stimulus. You see that with mortgage rates right now. So it's been a very turbulent time, and it's just impossible to ignore it. And we're not through that period of turbulence.
And that brings us to this book, because you've written this book, Yellen, about Janet Yellen. It's timely. You know, one of, I think, the books that people think about most when it comes to economists who have made a big impact on this country is Bob Woodward's Maestro, when he looked at Alan Greenspan.
Yeah.
We are in a moment now where Janet Yellen is at the center of what is a very troubling time for the U.S. economy. Why did you want to focus in on her? And this is a person people may know, but might not really know about her.
She seems like, I think on the outside, she seems like kind of maybe a dull person, but she's got a fascinating story. And it starts with the fact that she's kind of like the Ruth Bader Ginsburg of economics. In fact, she's probably more powerful than Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She has held the 3 most important policy-making jobs in the country: the Fed chair, the Treasury Secretary, and the White House chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. No person in American history has held all 3 of those jobs. She has, over the last 25 years, as we were just talking about, during a really turbulent time. And so I wanted to take a look at her. And you know, one of the things that I think is so interesting and engaging about this story is actually underneath the economics, there's a love story. So Janet Yellen is married to a person named George Akerlof, who won a Nobel Prize in economics. And between the 2 of them, they've been involved in almost every major debate in the U.S. economy for the last 60 years.
A brilliant person, but by her own admission and some of her own testimony up on the Hill, though, missed some of the warning signs about what was going on with our economy. You spoke to her for this book. What was she able to tell you about why maybe she wasn't able to recognize some of the things that were on the way?
So, I mean, so one of the big lessons is basically most of Washington fought the last war. So when COVID happened, we had just gotten through a decade of high unemployment, very low inflation, very low interest rates. And she's in the job, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, is in the job, and they're saying, we don't want to go back to a period of really long, high unemployment, so we're going to throw everything we've got at this thing. And they misjudged the situation, because it turned out that they threw too much at the COVID problem, and that's what caused the inflation we have right now.
In working on this book and researching Janet Yellen, was there anything that surprised you?
Boy, so much. You know, one of the things that really jumped out to me was that there's so much political debate, and especially here in Washington, right? So much ideological debate. What I see is, when I look at the problems that the economy suffers, very often it's human error. It's not one person on this side of the political spectrum or that side of the political spectrum. It's human error, like fighting the last war instead of fighting the war that we're in right now.
When she now goes out and is able to kind of talk at length about where the economy is right now, do you see her in the long haul in this administration? We're almost 2 years
Well,
in.
you know, this town has been abuzz with rumors that she's going to be on her way out.
Yeah.
She's in her 70s, late into her 70s. She didn't want the job to begin with. She turned Biden down when he first asked her. And so a lot of people are saying she's going to leave after the midterms. She told me she has no intention of leaving the job. She likes it, and she plans to stick around.
All right, the book is called Yellen by Jon Hilsenrath of the Wall Street Journal. It is on sale, as we say, at fine bookstores everywhere starting on November 1st. Jon Hilsenrath, good to have you back
Thanks
on
so
the Hill.
much.